Okay, Bithead 1000 here. Back with you guys on the set finally. We got some lights up. But before we get started on what I picked up at the thrift store, I want to start by talking about editing. Now, as far as editing is concerned, I don't like when editing is too complex or when something somebody films is overproduced. And I liken that to, I guess, the latest of the Star Wars movie, where there's a lot of CG animation and whatnot. And when you watch those movies, and when you see an explosion, for example, you say to yourself, okay, that was probably generated on a computer, and it looks good and everything like that, but when you see an explosion from the first Star Wars movies, I mean, number one, they're probably the best explosions I've ever seen in cinema history. And you say to yourself, how did they do that? I mean, this is film that's 30 years old and it still holds up today. You say to yourself, how did they do that? And you know what? My guess is it took a tremendous amount of work to do it. So not that CG animation is easy, but I remember seeing the making of Empire Strikes Back, and they were showing how they did the snow planet Hoth, and they showed it was like a platform, and it was covered with, it was either baking soda or baking powder or something like that to replicate the snow. And they had all these hatches in the platform, and guys would actually pop up out of the platforms and adjust the walkers ever so slightly in stop motion animation. And it looked beyond tedious. But what it came out on the screen, it converted to, it was magnificent looking. And like I said, even 30 years later, the films still hold up. So it just seemed like it took a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of effort. So that's what we're going to do here. We're not going to edit that much. We're going to do things old school. For example, when I put a video game up here, I'm at a distance from the camera. So if I'm presenting you a video game, you can see me, but maybe you don't see the game that good. So we have an assistant, and his name is ED2O-CLOSELINE. And what I'm going to do is, when I want to present the game, I'm going to put it on ED2O-CLOSELINE, and he's going to bring the game to you, so you can get a good close-up shot. You know, if I edited it, you know, maybe I use a stock photo of what the game actually is, and I can pop it in the corner of the screen there. But to me, that's no fun. That's like Jar Jar Binks. Let me tell you a little side story. When that fucking prick, Jar Jar Binks, came out on the screen, I felt like pulling the fire alarm in the movie theater, and just running and maybe making everybody run out of the theater. I would have saved everybody a lot of time and misery. Anyhow, let's get to the games that we picked up at the thrift shop. I think you guys are really gonna like this. All right, here we go. All right, number one. It's a Nintendo game, as you can probably tell, and it's Festus Quest. Now, let me send it down. Let me send it down the pike here. All right. Using good old, here we go, ED2O-CLOSELINE. Now that's Festus Quest. And I had this game as a kid. Now hold on, let me back it up a little bit because I think I might have got too close. Okay. Festus Quest was one of those games that when I bought it, it was $19.99. And I remember I had a paper route with my buddy Phil, and I used to make, like, I don't know, $15 a week if I was lucky. We used to split it, so he'd make 15, I'd make 15. And I can remember that after a week's worth of work, it wasn't enough to buy a Nintendo game, and that's basically all I was after. So every 2 weeks, I think I was able to buy a game, but a game on the cheap. And one of the games that happened to be on the cheap was Festus Quest. I remember that went down to $20 real quick. Maybe because people didn't like the game. I don't know. But Nintendo games were usually around $45 when they first came out. Then they would drop down to $29.99. Then they would drop down to $19.99. And when they dropped down to $19.99, they were fair game for me. So, Festus Quest, that's one I picked up. If I remember correctly, it came with a map. I think it came with a map in the box. If not, I think maybe Nintendo Power did a map. I remember using a map to try to navigate through the game or whatnot. And it had some difficult parts, but that's a game I haven't played in a long time. And I didn't beat it either. When I do a review of this game, we'll get more in depth about it. But yeah, that's Festus Quest. I picked it up for $1.99. I didn't think that was too bad. $1.99 with a 25% discount. So you guys do the math because I'm not very good with that. Anyhow, Festus Quest, and we'll stick her up on the game shelf here. Now I'm not going to put it next to the Sega games. I'm going to keep them segregated. I'm going to keep the Nintendo games on this side. So we'll give Festus Quest the right-hand side of the shelf. Your right-hand side. Anyhow, moving along. Now here's a game. Here's a Nintendo game that I never played before, but I hear a lot of people talk about this game, and it's a Capcom game. So I mean, how bad can it be? And it's Little Nemo, the Dream Master. Now, I'll give you guys a closer look at this game, and then we'll do a little explaining here. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. ED2O-CLOSELINE is in a bad mood today. Anyhow, there is Nemo the Dream Master for NES, and I picked that up for $1.99. And I hear nothing but good things about this game, so I'm excited to give it a try. And I'm more excited about playing games that I've never played before than games that I have played before, because it'll be a new experience. So I thought that was a cool pickup for $1.99. And finally, gonna throw it on the game shelf. I got news for you. This game shelf is gonna fill up quick, guys. I'm gonna have to build another one pretty soon. At the rate we're going, here we go. Put that one right up there. And next, we have a game for Super Nintendo. Now, I'm not sure if this game is a sequel, but it's a 2D beat 'em up, and it's called... Oh, I didn't want to take that off. We're going to need that for ED2O-CLOSELINE. And it's called Rival Turf. And this game I remember playing back in the day. Me and my buddy Phil again rented this game. You guys are gonna have to meet Phil. We're gonna bring Phil down here so you can meet Phil. Great guy, great friend. Rival Turf. I remember renting this from M&M Video with my buddy Phil because he had the Super Nintendo at the time. And do I have any really outrageous memories about this game? No. I remember it was a pretty, dare I say, bland beat 'em up. But I think now that I'm older, I can give this a very, how would you say it? I'll give it a good review. And we'll see how we like it these days. Because I got news for you. Games change as you get older. Some games you like more as you get older. Some games you don't like as much as you get older. So we'll give this game a review. Let me send it down the pike here so you can have a look at it. Alrighty. There she is. I'm over here blabbing my mouth. You can't even see the game. Hold on. Let me power up. Yep. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get a variable switch. Yep. Come on, baby. Hold on, let me fix this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a variable switch for this, for ED2O-CLOSELINE. That way he's not that temperamental, and we can ease the games in and ease the games back. Anyway, this is Rival Turf, and we picked this up for $2.99, which I think is reasonable for a Super Nintendo game. Oh, and don't forget, all these games were 25% off. So $2.99 plus I used my card to get 25% off. So, you know, as soon as we get a Nintendo, and as soon as we get a Super Nintendo, we're definitely going to review these games. But for now, they go up on the game shelf. This one we'll keep right next to the Nintendo games. They'll enjoy each other's company. But anyway, tomorrow's Tuesday, so we do a local thrift shop crawl, and we'll see if we pick up anything. So that's it for today, guys. Game on, and I'll see you next time.